Hello, PU players and watchers. Welcome to the first recap happening on the third week of PUPL. This is going to recap week 3 with an ending recapping week 4. With me are some loyal loyal is like a funny way to describe a friend, the first thing you describe them with, but I have some good PU players with me here and managers. Introduce yourselves, please.
Hi, my name is PTF. And I played PU for like 100 years, so that's pretty much where I'm at.
Hello, I am the Sky12321 on PS, but some people may know me as Ming from also like the RU version of these kind of podcasts. Part of the Chain Snatchers, who rock Go Chains, who love snatching the chains. Managed by Gulch and Ampa. Gulch, I think, is also with us here today.
Hi. I'm Gulch. I'm managing the Malignant Chain Snatchers, and I've been playing PU for like not 100 years, but almost.
We still have Tone.
Yeah, we have Tone and Asa in the chat, but they're muted, so I don't. They can say what's up whenever.
So to start us off, I guess we can go over these weeks and were these results expected. Here, I would say everything was around expected because I'm the Mags and I know we'll win. I would say Drud versus Drip Legend was quite an upset. But
yeah, I mean,
the
Drud
rest
has been
was
having a little bit of a rough run of it.
Mhm.
Just like recently, I mean, I know a lot of people think he's a very strong Scarlet Violet player, and he has the reputation and the kind of history to back that up. But it's just been kind of rough for him so far. So, you know, into week 4, hoping to bounce back.
His history isn't even bad. He just came off a 6-1 BLT, but PUPL
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he has the history of success in the tier. It's just for whatever reason he's starting off a little slower for this tournament. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he kind of carries himself going into the next few weeks.
I think everything.
Mortars are very solidly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is like around expected.
We have the decrepit and struggling Mints finally picking up a win.
Yep.
Not counting the other two.
There was a pretty unfortunate sub here with Morgay subbing in for Larry, and the game quality for that game was very questionable.
There was a Rotom Mo, so yeah, that questionable is probably the right word for that.
Well, Rotomo's good. He checks Inteleon, kinda.
He checks Inteleon, kinda.
Kinda being the keyword, yeah. You know, offensive checks, they're always kinda. Okay, Snatchers versus Goodras. Goodras successfully tied again, looking to get every game and get to playoffs with the slow and steady method.
Yeah, I mean, this was a very impressive one too by the Goodras. Because they started off very, very far in the back. I think it was. Gulch, you can like back me up here if you remember what exactly it was, but it was like 4-1 or 3-1 or something for Snatchers to start the week, and then kind of Goodras put together a really strong run to kind of close things out.
Coming off a big upset too, we had Step win versus Broth, who's like widely considered to be one of the best in the pool. Had some good wins picked up, and then a couple moments where the wheels definitely fell off a little. Like Custap Glastrier costing us a win in SV3.
Yes. And that's Asa's in the call. I don't know if they'll unmute, but that was a very interesting game.
Oh, that was
the
not
versus Asa set.
That's not going to be a game we look at. I don't think I chose it, but that Custap Glastrier was extremely obvious. But I don't think who has experience with it before would have known.
Yeah, I think he definitely got a little bit too greedy kind of near the end game in that. He could have slow played it a little bit and had a more kind of guaranteed win, but such is life. And then big props to Asa for having that tech and kind of finishing out
I plot
I think
armored
this
Asa,
game-
so it's only fair that she plot armors Fiend. Fiend is gonna get his plot armor soon.
Yeah, versus
Yeah,
Drug
we
this
hope.
week.
Oh no, wait,
Yeah,
not,
for sure.
not that soon. Yeah, not that soon. Alice Kazumi, is she 3-0?
No,
2-1.
2-1.
Okay.
Lost versus Avarice.
Haunters continue their streak of winning, and Stoners continue their streak of losing. I want to say.
They got a tie second.
Oh no. So they're not actually losing that much, right?
They
No,
continue
they're
their
two
streak of not winning.
Yeah. With a clutch activity win with Danny Dugza. That really mattered for
Did that
him.
ever go through? I don't think that really. I don't think
It will
that's
go
reflected
through.
in
It
the
will go
sheet.
through. Yes, it was an activity win.
I mean, there was a lot of
Suffis choked the game against MZ. I didn't watch Tier CLO or Cello. It's nice to see him get on the board though.
Yeah.
It's French, you don't have to pronounce it right.
Axertix Floss, I really loved the Axertix team. Like, aesthetically very pleasing to me. Besides this, we have PTF smoking everyone again. Avarice is on a roll. This Dunox Scrimps game, which was fought extremely hard with the managers.
In the schedule.
That was
Yeah,
a
I think
crazy
it's
manager
important.
battle.
I think it's important to give a little bit of context here. So I think Scrimps was the sub, right? It was supposed to be Dunox versus
Hesa.
who was original? His original opponent.
Yeah.
Hesa, right. So it was supposed to be Dunox versus Hesa, but because of scheduling issues, they couldn't get something done. So I think Hesa ended up calling Ack. It didn't go through, and then he had to be the one eventually who got the sub, and that was just kind of a whole mess. But yeah, Scrimps came in and clutched it up. Very good for him.
After all that, Dugza could finally breathe a sigh of relief.
Oh, yeah. Douglas was very heated, and I think it's also funny he just didn't play his game. I think at the end of the week, there's definitely some comedy.
Another game ducked by Crooked Doug. When will we see him finally play?
The Golurks here also
this
continuing, not winning, unfortunately.
Yeah. And that is also, unfortunately, probably costing him his week 4 slot because he is not on the Stoners lineup.
Who are you talking about?
Tier's not on the lineup this week.
Oh, Tier's not on the lineup. That's interesting.
Yeah, they put intro in SB.
Tier wanted to play so badly. Okay, never mind.
I know.
Scream Queen Lures. Lures are like, they kind of seemed at week 1 like they were going to be one of those teams that loses a lot, like the Joe Bidoof last year. Just didn't work out. But they're low-key getting back. Like, with the Mags, we're kind of neck and neck.
Yeah.
We're
I mean, right
slowly
now, just
catching
from the
up.
standing point of view, we can kind of see how it is. 1 and 2 are a little bit separated. You have Haunters and Snatchers at 6 and 5 points, but behind them, I mean, really kind of a dogfight. 3 teams at 3 points, a team at 2 points, 2 teams at 1. So, as we're getting into kind of the latter half of the season, it'll be interesting to see how these pan out.
I'm
Still
already
very
sort
much
of counting
anybody's
out.
game, really.
I'm already sort of counting out the Stoners and the Lurks. Like, just looking at their brings in SV at least, I'm not impressed.
I don't know. I
but
think
Pranksters,
the Stoners
I think
have
Drip Legends team
individual
are pathetic.
slots. Yeah.
Yeah, they have individual slots, but I don't like them as a team.
I don't know. I feel like
Pranksters,
they
I think,
have
still
a better
win.
chance of more shit than the Lurks. The Lurks have just been like consistently not impressed.
I think it's important to note too the relative strength of schedule as we kind of finish out the season. So, I mean, for the Lures and the Houndstoners, they've kind of, have a few teams that, maybe are going to be harder than others. I'm specifically talking about Haunters and Snatchers who haven't played yet. Or for the Gulch at least. The Houndstoners have already gotten through Haunters and Snatchers, so their schedule is, comparatively a little easier. But again, it's so kind of early to call any of this.
Yeah, and I do agree with that as well, because that's also like the Stoners have been losing, but also not like they've been losing versus teams that have been consistently winning and performing, and the Lurks have been kind of just doing that versus much less impressive rosters.
I think Mags are in a good spot because we had Haunters and Gudras week 1 and 2. Pranksters are also pretty strong, so we already have them out the way. Now it's just Snatchers, and then the other 3 are like the low ranked in the PR's team. So we're kind of looking to like end this really strong.
Yeah, I agree. I think this week is definitely going to make or break momentum for a lot of teams, and I think the Mags are definitely on the top of that list because I feel like a win here is going to be really necessary for them to make that big push to get to playoffs.
I'm not even certain. I'm not really certain what makes playoffs, but I think even a tie here would be fine because, I mean, we'd have to win the remaining weeks, but we should be pretty favored.
I mean, it also depends on like what other scores, because like we have 2 teams at 1, a team at 2, 2 teams or 3 teams at 3,
yeah,
and then we have a 5 and a 6. Like, if Haunters win this week, they could just be in already.
True. If Lures beat them, that's like a huge obstacle.
That's a huge upset, yeah.
And then they're actually in the race because then they have Pranksters, Stoners, and then they lose the last week against Mags.
I think them winning this week is gonna really like make them strong contenders for that playoff spot. Like it's gonna be I think what we're looking at here is that the top 3 teams right now are probably close to locks. I think the Pranksters
you say that, you say that, but it is very funny that the Gudras, who have tied 3 times, would be considered a lock.
Yeah,
I mean, hey, look at the Technicians and UPL. Like, look at the Chinchinos in earlier iterations of the tour. Like, it happens. That's a thing that we see.
Last week, like, it's not super free for the Gudras. They have Haunters, Pranksters.
It's not free,
which can be tough.
I think that it's like, assuming that the Pranksters don't go on a super strong run, I think it's not a super hot take to say that the top 3 teams right now, and then whoever wins that dogfight between the Lures and the Mags is what our playoff scene is going to look like.
Can the goalers do it? Can they do it?
Hey, I hesitate to make any like committal decisions here because it's just like, again, there's so much game.
Yeah, it's not even.
I do agree that
if Lurks make it, I was a hater. I was wrong. Shit, man. Like, good for y'all.
Do you think we can move to the games now?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll change up these OBS settings. Really quick. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's the other window. That's the other window capture. Don't worry about it. Just worry about it. Just go.
So what's happening here actually?
Move it so
I'm assuming you guys are going to edit this out?
I don't know. Unedited is always better.
Well, alright. Well, can we start with the SM so I can dip and get back to work?
Okay.
Alright,
so
excellent.
we'll start with the SM game. Glad this was over with like probably within a minute. That would have been embarrassing. So yeah, PTF versus Maki. This is
so I don't know too much about.
Someone. Yeah, continue. Did we lose PTF?
Did we? I believe we may have.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Now we can
we can hear you now.
Hear you now.
All right. So I don't know too much about Maki, so I just built a team with things that I like to use. I know that we haven't seen Stoutland for a while, and Stoutland's pretty strong, right? And in general, I just paired it with, momentum with Primeape and Silvally and also that Oricorio. For the most part, I think I had a good advantage in the sense that my Oricorio was a good a good check to that Torterra, which was their main way to break my team. Without that Oricorio, I'm pretty sure that Torterra would have went in because nothing else switches into it. My Regirock, Jellicent, that Silvally, Stoutland, they all take big hits. But otherwise, in terms of their matchup against me, well, they had the Aggron, and so the Aggron was my biggest check to the Stoutland, right? And the Silvally. If I wanted to proceed with the game, my game plan going into it is how do I get rid of this Aggron, and we'll see how it plays. So,
what about the Oricorio? Isn't that also like a quote-unquote normal resist?
Well, I wasn't. Yeah, so I wasn't. No, it's not because Stoutland has Scrappy, so I could just
shit.
kill it.
Yeah. I'm a noob.
Yeah, it's an interesting part about this team that I noticed. Yours, PTF. I forget. It's a Steel Volley here, right?
No, it's Silvally Fairy.
It's Silvally Fairy. So I was looking at this team, and the first thing I kind of thought of was, what happens if you see a Drampa? It's like, Drampa kind of can buy free switch-ins on, Jellicent, maybe your own Oricorio, Regirock even.
The other thing I want to say is Rotom Frost. I have no Volt Switch immunity, and they have 2 Volt Switches in Rotom Frost and Lantern, so that was another concern I had.
Oh, true. With Steel Valley, you don't even have a resist.
It's Silvally Fairy.
Oh, Fairy. Yep.
Yeah. No, so, yeah, going in here, I noticed it was Choice Banded, and I'm like, okay, well, if I Roost, then it's just going to hit me again.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. That's actually pretty tough then. That there's 2 Volt Switchers against no
against
resist.
the bird.
I'll go a little faster. Clutch Confusion.
And here it is, the first time Dog is in.
Now, I was not going to press Frustration until that Aggron was down, because if I press Frustration, all my momentum is gone. So I was just clicking Superpower just to apply pressure here.
Yeah. Still does a hello. I keep forgetting about Scrappy. So annoying.
And also their fighting resist only consists of Silvally Fairy and Oricorio, so it's a bit shaky, their fighting resists.
Silvally has no recovery, right?
No.
Okay. Burning Z, it's not as bad as Burning Terra, I suppose.
Honestly, I think that was a pretty good Z from him. Because it's like you get chip on the Aggron, which is kind of the entire point of this game, right?
Well, my concern was, again, I was getting quite low in my health, and if I just needed to get rid of that Torterra, so I thought that maybe they were going to expect U-turn again or some play, so I just wanted to kill it.
I thought he'd greed the stay, and that would have been crazy. But yeah, even this worked out pretty well, because the Aggron is, getting chips, has no lefties, so every little bit of damage matters.
And you get him up.
So once that Self Rock went up, that was really good for me because they have that Rotom Frost and that bird Pokemon. And here it is, that Superpower. This is the important part about the match, right? As soon as Aggron was down, I was able to pretty much open up a lot of space for my game plan because Silvally Fairy goes in, my Stoutland also is free to click click Frustration at any point it wants to. But yeah, that was I think turn 15 was the moment where it was kind of over for Maki.
Interesting, yeah. Because he does actually give your guy entry because these guys are slower. I'm not sure how much speed Oricorio runs.
Oricorio outspeeds me and Rotom Frost outspeeds me, and so does Silvally. But Silvally here makes sense, I guess.
So Torterra continues to claim, I assume.
So this is what I was saying. Without my Oricorio, I'm basically weak to Torterra. And at this point, I don't really care for Jellison. Jellison could die. I wasn't using it for anything, actually.
Yeah. I suppose it can be like an Oricorio, but you already have something for that.
Oh, why Solvali here? I was kind of wondering that during the game as well. Like, why Solvali over what I was only assuming was like maybe a Scarf Primate or even like the dog.
I don't think he just wants to lock into anything.
Well, Savali doesn't seem like it's going to be the I don't know what the Rotom set was, nor do I know what the Savali set was. I've forgotten, so we'll just have to play the game until we find out.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't think he's
like
Savali like Primate.
Bad or questionable or anything.
Oh yeah, so I think it was Carmine, but essentially over here, the whole reason I pressed substitute is because I wasn't sure what it was going to do. It could have done a couple of things. It could have forced a switch and Carmined. I know that's probably unlikely given the fact that I have a Regirock right there, but I also didn't want to weaken Regirock to the point where I can't check Savali. So that was going in my mind. Also, another thing that was going in my mind is if he does actually attack me, and I'm like, and uses the Z Hurricane, or even U-turn, I wasn't sure. So I thought, let me just suss out what the set is by clicking substitute. Also, substitute was a last-minute addition to my Silvally set. I don't know who I tested against. I believe it was ORAS, and it was a last-minute addition. But that substitute really helped because by substituting, I avoided that Z attack, and then I don't believe Hurricane killed me from that health after the substitute.
Yeah, it's like a mid-ground that covered everything. So getting the Z was nice. Oh, crit,
and that crit didn't
dodge.
really matter. but yeah, it only mattered because I'm not sure if it did matter too much. I'm pretty sure Flame Charge would have killed anyway from that point. But once I got that speed boost, I was able to outspeed everything there and just win.
Yeah, everything's in range. That is a solid win then. Did Primeape didn't even see the light of day besides one U-turn.
Yeah, and also Regirock didn't do too much. I had a pretty healthy Regirock and a healthy Primeape, so I could have cleaned pretty easily anyway. But yeah, so that's my match.
All right, thank you very much. All
right, I'm dipping. See you guys.
Yeah, see you. Okay, so with SM out of the way, we can go to the first SV game that we'll showcase. It's Taka on, I think, the Stoners or the Lurks versus Lax, who is with ZS. So, lead matchup. There's probably nothing outspeeding the Staraptor if it's Scarfed. Could also just be banded, and there's not really anything for Band Raptor either.
I do think Mudsdale is going to be really hard for Lax to break through here, though. Like, generally speaking, I don't think he has a lot of reliable ways to stop Taka from getting rocks up, which does really limit the ability Staraptor has to come in, since unless this is like defog Decidueye, there is no removal here.
It could also be like Grass Knots, Zoroark with a Life Orb. I mean, that's like kind of crazy set. Doesn't look like it fits this team. Also, to be noted, there's a Staraptor here with no removal, which means it's likely the Decidueye is defog.
I was gonna say, this dies in 4 turns without defog.
Yeah, without removal here, Staraptor is very just susceptible to dying fast. Bruxish,
even with removal,
usually,
I mean, if you, I was gonna say, even with removal, I mean, the Raptor is kind of notorious for just kind of blowing itself up, especially if that's like a Rocky Helmet Mudsdale, which has been picking up a lot of kind of popularity lately.
Yep.
That's like 2 hits and your Staraptor's dead. So interesting to just like see how Lax manages Staraptor focus.
Taka here has the Bruxish, which is the ZU Mon pick of the game. Bruxish is usually used as a choice scarf attacker. Some people use it with dazzling to avoid priority, which is actually huge in PU, but it's usually not worth the trade-off to having so much weaker Psychic Fangs, because Psychic Fangs here goes really hard. Besides the Zoroark. Zoroark doesn't really want to switch into a flip turn, but nothing else really
Do we think
comes
could
in
also
on
maybe be
Psychic.
Crunch here? Because if it's Crunch, that's actually kind of huge.
Oh yeah, Crunch is also huge here. Lacta's team doesn't. It's like he has the defensive core with Gastro, Bro, Decidueye, assuming it's Defog, and then the other 3 mons are extremely frail.
Yeah.
Kind of similarly to Taka though, but Taka's team I think is fatter because
Yeah, there's the Milotic, and then the Glowbro, and then the Mudsdale. Like, there is some backbone to this.
yeah, I don't think Decidueye is like solid backbone to be honest, because it's a little passive if you're not running the choice band or spell tag set. So who would you lead here? You probably... This is a tough lead for Lax, actually. Taka can potentially lead with Migo or Bruxish. Also,
I think Taka could also lead Mudsdale with 0 consequence here and just get up rocks immediately.
Yeah, I think that's a possibility as well. Also, Migo Bruxish means one of them likely isn't Scarf, and you can kind of save it for later to bluff the set. So yeah, I can see.
I think it depends on the Zoroark set here, because depending on what he's running here, that could be an effective lead. But also, if it's like Swords Dance or like Physical Scarf or something like that, you completely dud into so much of this team.
I feel like maybe Mudsdale isn't the lead though, because if Lax leads Gastro and starts getting hazards up, although there is no other potential rocker, so this is not a Spikes Gastro. Actually, yeah, it's fine. Mudsdale is a fine lead here. Lax,
that's another thing too. I feel
if it was offensive Decidueye,
I
I'd definitely lead that, I think. But it's not.
Yeah, I think Decidueye is just too good into too much of the team here, I think.
I think Raptor would just be the lead, but it's like, if he's Mudsdale, it's annoying. I think
I would lead
Gastro is the lead.
Also,
I think
if it's not
Gastro
Scarf,
does very
you get
well
punked by
with like 4 out of 6
Gastro.
of these guys.
Yeah, I
I
think
think Gastro
Gastro's the lead
does
as
well
well.
in 4 out of 6. Get them up. We were mentioning removal from Lax's side, but you look at Taka's side and it's like you just don't have it. So
Yeah, he has nothing either.
yeah.
Well, like, pretty established lead that both of these guys would want hazards fast. So Mudsdale
We see the mud.
on Raptor, so
We see Raptor. Yeah.
Raptor is the quote-unquote safe lead, but it gives Mudsdale just this free rock. Although if it's choice band, this Mudsdale might die. But it's not choice band.
And it is Rocky Helmet Mudsdale, so that Raptor is hell.
Yeah, this is an awful Raptor matchup.
So the Decidueye doesn't even defog. So this Raptor is essentially dead. That doesn't do too much to the Migo though, so I'm guessing he'd probably swap out here though.
Yeah, makes sense. Just keep up momentum, get Mudsdale in. I mean, this is kind of a hard Pokemon for Lax to answer. He seems to be throwing Decidueye in, but I mean, besides that, the rest of the team is kind of,
Wonder if he
at
could have done
Mudsdale's
something more
wing
aggressive.
to do whatever it wants. Yeah.
Actually, not really. This was just fine play by Taka.
Yeah.
Gets big chip because he doesn't expect the Zoro. I'm not sure what kind of damage that is. It could be like Scarf. Isn't it Boots? I don't think that's Specs damage. Specs should do more.
I don't think that's enough to be Black Glasses either.
Actually, it might be Specs. Maybe if it's like some invested. Mudsdale has decent.
It's 47 in Milotic. I feel like that's bad.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I don't know the Milotic spread. I don't know the Milotic spread off the top of my head, and that's a big flinch.
So the way he sends this in,
Yeah.
it's identified that the Zoro's not Scarf and the Migo is Scarf. So this Bruxish is probably like SD. Yep, and then we see it. He got. Come on, man. Like, the only thing that switches into wave crash is Castro. Come on.
I mean, it's interesting to note too, right? Because you take the gel sidearm. So let's say you do wave crash into, like, say the Gastro. You're still not killing it with Psychic Fangs, I don't think. And now, yeah, I mean, you give it a Storm Drain. Oh, but the Stellar boost. I kind of forgot about that.
Stellar
Yeah.
is
This
fire.
is super interesting. This is very, like, off the cuff.
Yeah, this is kind of like the, what's it called? The big thing, right? Just the Stellar Bruxish. And somehow, how does Stellar work with these moves? It's the first
it's like
time
a-
you use these
the first time you use a move of a type, you get the boost on it. And then after that, you don't get boosts on moves of that type anymore. And your defensive typing just doesn't change.
Okay, so when he Psychic Fangs into that Gastro, that was with a Stellar boost, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And then he doesn't get the boost on Psychic Fangs anymore. Like, and if he uses Aqua Jet and then gets the boost on Aqua Jet, he doesn't get the boost again on Aqua Jet or Wave Crash.
I see. And that's very cool. This is a very cool tech.
Yeah, Terra Stellar is hard to make work. It's usually used on contrary mons, but even then, it's not really their best set. Or sometimes it is. I've used it on, like, Iron Moth in OU. But besides that, it's very seldom seen. And what the hell happened here? This is like a game-losing play. Because this might be the Zoroark? No, I think it'd still be the Palmon. Okay, so
Yeah,
he
that's the,
expects
I think
Psychic
this is why
Fangs.
that's like the actual.
Yeah, so he expects Psychic Fangs, and he gets destroyed. Jesus.
I was very surprised to see Psychic Fangs KO Glowbro for like damage. That was very surprising.
Yeah, it's probably AV Glowbro. And possibly modest. I'm not sure about the damage, because we saw the damage, but if it's modest, then there's really not a lot of investment in defense. Because it's usually around, like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to say how many EVs, but usually a bit of it goes into SPDF. And now it's just cleanup crew, and you can just sack the Mudsdale on this. Yeah, just keep sacking your guys.
And then the most obvious Zoroark switch ever.
Okay, I don't know why we said that wasn't specs, that was super specs.
Yeah.
So, great win by Taka. There was like an awkward turn where Lax was scouting for the moves, but he was definitely on the back foot. Did Lax even use his Terra, actually? Yeah, he used it,
They're the Decidueye.
yeah, to resist the water move, but yeah, Taka
Psychic
called
Fangs.
it there.
They did the Psychic Fangs.
There was no reason not to wave crash at that situation.
Yeah.
Like, you get damage all out of the turn after USD.
It was like a Hail Mary.
With the Gastro
that
on,
point-
not really. If it was Zoroark, it was Zoroark, right?
Yeah. So, great game by Taka. I think that's his first on the board. Not sure. Okay, next game is
It is.
yours
yeah.
truly. This game, I made this team like day one. I made it extremely early, just threw together defensive Gligar plus AV Brocore and then a bunch of broken Pokemon. These guys are all broken, by the way.
Yeah.
It felt
If we look at
extremely
our
smooth.
residents, if we look at our resident suspect mon in Talion, I mean, I look at that and I look at wet bowl water resist. I'm like, oh man, this will be a game.
So all these mons are broken. Decidueye is broken. Arc is broken. Arc and Decidueye are a crazy combo because Arcanine forces Terra Ghosts, and if you Terra Ghost, Decidueye kills you. Scrafty is also broken. And
Yeah,
Talion,
Terra Ghost Crafty
yeah,
also
crazy.
kills you.
I was surprised because I've
Not to everyone, but I digress.
I'm not gonna reveal that information, but when I saw this team at preview, I was like, yes, I like this. This doesn't really look super sound to me. It's like my intuition just tells me this doesn't really look like a great team.
Yeah, water resist is kind of just a prayer here. I don't think Wet Bull is really taking more than one hit super reliably.
It gets to a KO.
So, knowing that, I know that I kind of misplay this because I know it's super obvious that Inteleon is a threat. It's extremely easy to identify as the biggest threat. And it's also extremely easy to identify for me that Kilowattrel is the biggest threat. I actually have Acrobatics Gligar, so I completely destroy this Heracross. Wet Bull is also kind of concerning, but not really as much as the Kilo. Kilo is like a mon that's annoying because it can get competitive boosts on Arcanine.
And outspeed your entire team.
Yeah. So I knew he would lead Kilowattrel, and I think I make like some really subpar lead because I don't feel like leading Glowbro. Yeah,
you can flip around from your perspective.
Gligar is a pretty horrible lead here. Don't really know why I did it. I guess for the Golurk.
Maybe you were expecting Caparada to lead.
Yeah, honestly, for me looking at this team, I see a whole bunch of Mons and no way to get rid of them. So, leading with Gligar, prioritizing getting rid of some of the spikes. I don't know if there's spikes on the set. But just getting them up early and having them be like an assist for Inteleon breaking or Decidueye breaking later in the game, I think that made sense.
I think it makes sense, but it's flawed. It's definitely flawed because at lead you have to you want tempo and you want to identify biggest threats. Biggest threat is obviously Inteleon. You're not leading Golurk into potential Inteleon. Inteleon is also attempting lead because it pivots. Good leads have ways to pivot. So it's extremely obvious that I'm probably like Inteleon is extremely tempting here. So I don't think he'd lead either Copper or Golurk, which is why Gligar makes no sense, because Gligar would be the one that's good into them. But I dodged the first Hurricane, one of many. Don't think it mattered too much at this point. This was a pretty bad Flamethrower. I do have Grass Knot, but like Grass Knot does nothing into Copper. After the game, I did figure out a better tech that actually hits Golurk and Copper harder, being Foul Play. Foul Play is super nice on Glowbro. But at the moment, I was Flamethrower Grass Knot. So I just kind of get the 50-50 wrong. I sort of wanted to see what he'd wanted to prioritize, was breaking or getting rocks up. Poltergeist is pretty easy here because I have Gligar. So he's not clicking Earthquake. And what do? I just go for the free knock. Eject Heracross is kind of scary. And Spikes plus Kilo actually threatened me hard. I clicked Flamethrower here again because I'm crazy. But I don't even think Flamethrower would have done too much since it's SpDef Copper, which is a bad set, by the way. Get knocked here, that's fine. This is just some pivoting. I think this was AV identified as AV Glowbro. So I hard Decid and Decid claims. Decid also has a fantastic matchup here. Look at that. Slower, faster than three guys, and the other guys don't resist it. So I think that's why.
Is that banded Decidueye?
Yeah, it's banded.
Yeah.
I kind of got gaslit by Bella. I kind of got gaslit by Bella on the analysis channel. She was like, "Choice band Decidueye is so bad. Use another set." But in practice, Choice Band was so much better for me, and now I stand by it being like the top 2 set. Here I need to toss Gligar.
It was a team with no Ghost Resist anyway, so...
I can always kind of set up for an end game with Decidueye too. Okay, these are like really unfortunate misses, but I was content with tossing Gligar here. Inteleon doesn't actually end up doing that much because this is Scarf. And this is like the turn that broke the game, basically. I was really lucky here. But I know he's Scarf, and it does 58 max. So I click Rest here. And I actually get the Shed Skin, which basically seals the game. The chat did think it was a roll, but I am fat Scrafty.
Yeah. Can we talk about also, not like pertaining to this specifically, but just in general, can we talk about how dishonest Shed Skin is? Like, man.
It is very dishonest. It's a break Scrafty for sure.
Like, it makes this mod so depressing to play against, because you think
reminds
you finally
me of,
have it, and then you just don't.
It reminds me of Zarud and RU with jungle healing.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think that's a pretty good comparison. Jungle healing obviously gets you some HP back too, but just the fact that you can't really consider statusing a reliable counterplay versus Scrafty makes it really.
The thing jungle healing can't do though is you're spending a turn clicking it. Scrafty can set up or knock you off
and you
or
just
something.
pray that you get the 33% roll.
Yeah. So because Beraldo calcs here, he takes a long time. He's like, okay, it somehow lived the wave crash. He's surely slow, but no, I'm not slow. That did not matter. This hurricane didn't matter. It was like 18% to kill. Actually, I shouldn't say that because I revealed my set, but whatever. And that's kind of it. Scrafty sweeps from here on. Decidueye sweeps from here on. Pretty subpar team from Beraldo. And I did luck him, but I don't think it mattered too much. My matchup here was pretty favored.
Yeah. Decidueye into a team with no ghost resist is just kind of a game that's won already.
Now this is another one. I didn't mention Terra in the previous game. Terra was also a pretty big factor. I don't even think I ended up using it that game.
You did not.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't really have to do that here, but I think this game was pretty interesting because it shows how Terra is like this swing mechanic. Not exactly like broken, but I mean, in my opinion, not exactly broken, but it's just this momentum tool. So what do you lead if you're Ishtar here? You can immediately discount Arcanine as a lead. This is like not an ideal lead mon because it's like set up and stuff.
Yeah.
But everyone else,
I don't think Bronzewolf comes out
It
first.
feels like the lead's Tatsu. If you want like immediate damage, but it depends on the set.
You could also Skuntank lead and just try to start making progress immediately. Same thing with like Decidueye and just U-turn into something favorable.
But just to confirm, Hoen's on the bottom, Ishtar's on the top.
yeah.
Oh, we're talking about Ishtar's.
Yeah, Ishtar's lead against Hoenn, not the other way around.
Honestly, possible like crackpot idea here. I kind of like Palmont as a lead here.
It's like Life Orb Palmont, so I don't think she wants to do that much. If Decidueye
True.
here is U-turn, I think you definitely lead with Decidueye.
I don't know about that actually. I really think
I feel like Tatsu's safer.
Tatsu. I
Because
don't
like
like
forcing
Tatsu.
out.
I don't like Tatsu.
I
mean, like,
Tatsu has too bad a chance of just coming in and getting nuked by something. Like, if you're gonna do that, you might as well just do like Kilowattrel and then hope you outspeed and could just pivot out of a bad matchup.
see that's what I would have led. Kilowattrel is the fastest one on the field. You have one electric immunity. It's Mudsdale. Mudsdale is not commonly something you want to be switching into Kilowatt. And otherwise, Kilowatt can just kind of get big damage with Hurricanes or just full switch out on a potential Bronzong.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think
That's definitely Scarf Tatsu on Hoen's team. His team is way too slow otherwise.
No,
Or it could
but
be
that's
Scarf
just
Yeah, and
still,
then-
but-
I think Hoenn is like pretty adamant about just using speed control as a priority. This is speed control.
Well, he has double
I mean,
priority, or technically triple,
he has triple
potentially
priority,
triple
so
priority.
it doesn't really need to be Scarf Tatsu.
conversely, looking at Hoen's side in terms of leads, I look at something like Decidueye into a Ghost Resistless team, or I look at something like perhaps even Skuntank. If
I
he
don't like
leads to
Skuntank
something like
because Gligar. I
because-
think Tatsu
Yeah.
is the best lead here because it just like prevents rocks and stuff.
I think we all at least do agree it's not Arcanine and it's probably not Bronzong.
You
Bronzong.
could lead Bronzong.
Bronzong is
Personally, I would-
really here. I don't like it.
Okay, because it only
I don't
it
like
only
Skuntank
comes in
either.
for Tatsu and that. Yeah.
Actually, process of elimination. I don't like Skuntank because Gligar. I don't like Mudsdale because Toxic Gligar. I don't like Bronzong because knockoff Copper, Gligar, this thing.
Overall, Decidueye just feels the safest.
Decidueye, yeah, it's like Decidueye or Tatsu. And then here it's Gligar or Kilo. And it's Tatsu, Gligar, which immediately gives Hoenn the correct lead. And now this is like a showcase of why this mon is bad when it's defensive. So Hoenn gets this hit. It actually does a decent bit. Knockoff doesn't even 2 a KO, and this thing's only other attacking with his Iron Head, so you don't even 2 a KO the Decidueye. And Hoenn is gonna read like a double here. But he gets the claim because Copper Raj is like really frail.
I mean, looking at what Hoenn brought, Copper wasn't really doing much of anything anyway.
Well, it doesn't do anything in any game, but yeah, that's beside the point. You need to run HVAV on it.
Good mon, wrong set. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Like, you kind of need to... I feel like Leftovers Copper, you kind of need to be on a Spike Stack team. And I don't think this team is fat enough to be, like, a dedicated Spike Stack with Whirlwind team. Like, this is offensive. Just with, like, Decidueye, Palmot, Kilo. Like, this is a very offensive team.
I mean, like, looking at it on paper, it could have been Hazard Stack.
No, it's
For, like,
it definitely
Kilowatt,
could be
though.
Hazard Stack with competitive Kilo. And then there's 2 Hazard setters, but I just think this team is...
competitive. I just don't like competitive Kilo when the ground type is Gligar. It feels kind of iffy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
think
it's
you're
like an
both
RU
walking
thing
here
because
is
Franklin was
generally
also
pretty
telling me he hates it. And that mon was RU for a while. But yeah, I just think this Ishtar team is like not fat enough to justify Whirlwind. Because besides that, it just looks like offense. But like, you're using Spike Stack Whirlwind offense, just I don't like it. And this Mudsdale gets just rocks up. This is a cool mid-ground. He doesn't go Mudsdale right away. I mean, it's like, okay, obviously you go Intimidate on the physical mon, but you don't go Mudsdale right away, because after this Intimidates, you're actually going to be able to kill it with E-Speed. So you can force it out. That was just a great double. Aggro plays.
Yeah.
This Gligar takes so much from knockoff. Wonder if it was glasses.
That black glasses?
Yeah, I think it's glasses. So now this claims, but also Arc and Decidueye claim too. And now this is like a momentum swing turn, because this is what I love about Terra. Some people hate it, but Ishtar was Terra normal. And you need to get back into this game. This is what I like about Terra. It's like you can choose when to pull ahead, and you can choose when to try to make a comeback, try to even the grounds. And this was like a prime opportunity to Terra normal because you gain your momentum back. Ishtar did have a plan with like another win con in the back, though I'm not sure what it was, because the Decidueye is probably not beating both Arcanine and Skuntank. So this is like a prime Terra opportunity, and I think this could have brought her back into the game. So this is... Besides those previous plays and like Hoenn getting the lead right and having momentum the entire time, I think this is like the critical turn. because Hoenn also feels it's like it's the critical turn, and he feels like if this Decidueye is gone, or if this Kilowattrel's gone, this game is over. And Ishtar just didn't pull the trigger. And from there, it's over. And we see a very funny AV max attack Bronzong, which 2-hit KOs Tatsugiri. So I thought that game was really fun, and I thought the Terra turn was just awesome because, like, Ishtar could have won that. Maybe. Actually, nah, Arcanine probably wins at that point. But still, it's like
they just blitz and e-speed everything.
Yeah, you just e-speed everything. But it does show like you can swing these games back into your favor. I think this team from Ishtar, if it was actually like a spike stack, should have probably been bulkier. And if it was bulkier, I think maybe you can like buckle up and beat the rest of these guys, but not sure. Tough matchup for sure. And definitely not badly played from either, but just pretty much every turn perfect from Hoenn. Okay, this is the greatest game of PUPL.
Oh god, the fucking almost 600 turn SS stall game.
Yeah, I think this is a very interesting game. Because this isn't even the only Sword Shield stall game I think we saw this week, right? I feel like we saw a couple of them. But this was interesting in kind of just in the long game resource management. And spoiler alert, Fire Arcanine DJ Breloominati wins this after like 500, 600 turns, whatever. But I think he really did like a good job kind of during the middle game, managing how he was getting past whittling down Gum's Altaria. I think he did a really good job of kind of forcing Altaria to do a lot of switch-ins to keep rocks and keep spikes off, because that was kind of the deciding factor in this game. One side had spike stack, one side didn't. And then one side kind of felt the need to keep those off, because otherwise in a stall v stall mirror match, you're just going to get whittled down. You have like knockoffers, your heavy duty boots are eventually going to get knocked. And then you're just in a bad spot. So I thought this was a really interesting game for kind of those reasons.
I would like to say for all our viewers at home, this is the like top speed that we can make the replay go at. The game is just that long.
Yeah, Fish, you could sit here clicking skip turn for the next like 10 minutes and we would still be here. But yeah.
If
Does anyone remember any critical turns? I feel like that's pretty tough.
The turn Altaria burns the last roost is kind of important. That's like very late into the game though. So yeah.
Huzzah!
Yeah.
549 turns, 3 mons down.
This actually was an interesting game. Like, as someone who was there watching it live, it is boring for the most part. But you kind of learn to, once you've been doing this for long enough, you kind of just learn to appreciate kind of these types of bug fests where it's like you really have to be careful with how you manage your resources and how you build your team so you don't get like, you know, blown out by another stall just because they have spikes and you don't, or just because they're, you know,
I'm gonna be honest,
they have an easier time pushing you to get to the hazards.
As an SV player only, I don't appreciate these games. And long live Synthesis and Recover having 8 PP.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah, this is why SV is the best gen, by the way. Love SV.
Now, just so you wait, there's SV stall ready to be cracked. It's there.
It is an OU, but that's because
I'm talking about PU Fish.
Gliscor.
It's there. It's there to be cracked.
Nah, it's not. That's not. I would have cracked
it. It's not.
Gulch has told me time and again. I literally beat you with stall, Gulch. I don't know what you're talking about. Literally loaded PU stall and blew you out.
Well, tune in for the Snatchers interfight.
We're definitely not loading it. Like, you're forced into running some, janky stuff, and that's definitely not something our guys would, kind of very comfortably load. But it's there. It's definitely an option.
Stall seems extremely unviable from current SVPU.
Yeah,
there's
you need knockoff
nothing
absorbers.
with
The thing
unaware.
is, because there's no like removal and there's no knockoff absorbers. So in OU, it's kind of remedied by Gliscor and some like really cracked sticky hold mons, but mostly Gliscor, who can be knocked and who can absorb status, and he kind of saves stall there. But it's like
Isn't
looking really
Moltres
rough.
also like a big part of it?
Who?
Moltres.
Moltres was, yeah, it's on some stalls, not on all of them though. Dondozo was probably a big one, but it's hard. Like you just need all the boots and you need the absorber like Gliscor, and PU does not have that Pokemon. We also
I will say, if and when we get Quagsire, it might be viable.
No, I think we need Blissey, because I think Chansey and STL made some stalls viable with Chansey Avalugg, which is pretty hard to break. But as long as there's no Chansey, it's really rough. There's really no replacement. Milotic doesn't do it, neither does Wo-Chen. Okay, enough about SV stall. Let's watch Crying bring Rampardos against Teddy.
I believe this is the third time in a row Teddy's been just recycling sauce.
Well, he was like the GOAT back in the day, so may as well.
I mean, true, but like, has it been working out for him is the question.
Oh, I'm not sure. These are like some mons I'd seen in current Gen ZU like a few months ago. Not sure what happened here, so... Oh, goat lead. Crying is the goat. What is this? It's like looking horrible for Teddy, and it's turn 4 already. Okay, never mind, it's over now.
Yeah.
Come on,
wait,
this is the game I chose to highlight.
That was a kind of, that's what I said at the end of the game, where I felt like that was a misplay on Crying's part.
Yeah, that was a little greedy not knocking it first just to get the scarf off as insurance.
Yeah.
I mean, it worked out, but you shouldn't be banking on the Blizzard miss, even if that is a typical thing to see happen.
I mean, the Leafeon was Yachiberry anyway, so even if you like took the first one, you knock it off and kill it the following turn.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that the first one was fine, but the Blizzard miss the first time was
yeah, but
whatever. But like, yeah, that was knock was definitely the play. Like leaf blading for made no sense because looking at Teddy's team, that's like the most obvious Scarf Rotom Frost in the world.
What do they run on Drifblooms here?
Drifbloom is either Subcall Mine or Lychee Berry with like Wisp Acrobatics and Knockoff.
Okay.
So it really depends. It really depends on the Drifbloom set. Drifbloom can still like do something, but it depends on the set.
I was just hoping it wasn't Defog. That seems horrible.
It doesn't get Defog in this generation.
Oh, okay. I'm starting to regret highlighting this game. I don't really like this. This is like...
This game sucked.
I mean, it's...
Crying played really recklessly.
I think it was just like, we see a Rampardo, so let's do something with it. Okay, it did something. And I'm pretty sure that was Rock Polish, 3 attacks, Rampardos. But I felt like also there, Rampardo should have been saved, because Rampardos could have broke this 30, at least on Golem, for Floatzel, and Floatzel was out faster than everything. But again, it still came down. Like Drifloon could have still did something here, but again, we don't know at this point what the set was.
It's something to note about Rampardos is that he lost Rock Polish and SV, so he's just eternally unusable.
I mean, it gets Trailblaze, so it's something. It just don't run Sheer Force.
Yeah, that's what I've actually been using it for. Like when Avalugg leads were common in ZU, you could lead Rampardos, and if they're like not careful, you can surf them or something, and they die, and it kills them through 30.
Yep, just like the ORAS lead. Jeez.
She wouldn't have that Yachi Berry.
That was still a bit of a greedy play. Like since this was just like to play around Sucker Punch, I guess.
Crying kind of got everything here.
Jeez. Could be Calm Mind, but it's Wisp, and Wisp is usually not Wisp Calm Mind, so like that, the Muck can just curse up and Drifloon is helpless here. Because all it can do is just knock off, and Crying doesn't even have to attack to activate acrobatics or anything.
Where's the strength sap, brother?
Not in this gen.
Not in this gen.
Okay. Next is Faeniix versus guille. And I don't know if this is non-standard, but there's a dwebble. Isn't Crustle in this tier? I swear it is.
Yeah, actually.
Actually, maybe
I believe so.
Well, if Crust was in the tier, then they would have used it.
In this tier.
I wouldn't remember seeing a dwebble, but
Oh, I feel like this game is funny too, right? Because isn't Faeniix part of your team?
okay, no,
No.
Crustle is RU.
Dusk.
Yeah, Crustle is RU.
Okay, so they have the suicide lead, I presume. I mean,
But
to
they didn't
me,
lead
the
off.
only thing I can think of is suicide lead dwebble, and then Faeniix would try to anti-lead it.
Yeah, because Dwebble in this tier is usually like Rock, Spikes, Custap.
Okay, yeah, I can see Tentacle being an anti-lead. And then Guille predicts the anti-lead. Gems, oh my god, ban gems. Does that predict the Tentacle? Does this do damage to Tentacle? Oh, it does.
Maybe. Oh, shit.
Well, that definitely died. Now you can click normal move, I suppose. Okay, yeah, Faeniix is way behind. Because you can get up. You can get him up now.
Actually,
Actually,
Sage is kind of hype. I have no idea if that's standard or not. I don't know that much of this gen.
Rapid Spin is a pathetic move in this gen, so doesn't do anything to the God Dwebble.
Yeah.
It's sturdy. Which is notable.
Quake not killing there is definitely rough. I feel like the Toxic Spikes could have been a misplay, though. Not spinning the spike off.
Yeah. Like, are you under any pressure to not spin it? I mean, I guess he wants to limit the Shell Smashers in the back. If he even goes
I
there.
feel like breaking slashes is
I
entirely
think
worth
all
it.
this to do
Yeah.
is just pivot around and get Arbok back in. I mean, that can be awkward, but still.
Okay, he tries to double switch, but he gets hit by the mid ground here. Was Arbok needed for something later? Like, he could have just totally sacked it here. Which is exactly what he
He needed
does.
it to get rid of the Toxic Spikes.
Oh, this is
Oh,
playable.
yeah.
Let's go.
Although I do
I don't
think
even
that
remember
actually
this
ended
game.
up hurting him in the long run.
Oh, I forgot. There's no fairies here. Damn.
Yep.
I thought Gil was gonna win that the whole time.
Now see,
Even got the 2
this
focus.
is a perfect game. Beautiful game. 19 turns, 11 dead.
Yep, you love it.
That's what you like to see.
Now into the non-team preview gens. We have frankjosh versus Leni, which was chosen because it was the shortest game, I think. And I don't think anyone here is a Gen 4 specialist.
The leads have changed though, but
Matang with no Eviolite. Delibird is good here? Wait, no, that's a Zangoose. Oh my god, it's late. he kind of looks like a Delibird. Oh, is Sub Missy gonna win? Oh, it's Trick. I'm assuming no Toxic Orb in this gen, so he can't activate it himself.
I mean,
no, the orb exists.
There's no hidden ability either, so it's immunity.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, it's immunity, yeah.
You got the wrong component. It's no toxic boost this gen.
Immunity makes a lot more sense. Like, just knowing what Mongoose do. Okay. To digress. Why did he say unfortunate? Is this a roll? Has to be a roll, if that's the case.
Can't imagine. But this is an equally as unfortunate turn. Yeah. Edge miss and a Giga Drain crit. Kind of crazy. Did not end up mattering, but still kind of crazy.
It could also have been the speed EVs. Right on speed creep in this tier is like a really weirdly contested thing.
Okay, so Perugly cleans it up. I think I've seen a bunch of Leni Perugly end games at this point. He is the master. Alright, these teams look kind of funky. There's some early Gen 9 PU in there with some ZU. Alright, next is a Juggernaut game. 51
Oh, baby.
turns. Yeah.
Pineco is very interesting here because, like, it's one of 3 Pokemon, I think, in the tier that get spikes, and none of them are really that great, unfortunately. Like, you have Omanite, which is... It has it, and it's got the bulk to get him set up, but it's overall just kind of really passive and do nothing, and also quad weak to grass in a tier where everything is teching for Marsh Stomp. Snowrunt works, but only on, like, dedicated offense teams where it can lead off. And then you just don't see a lot of Pineco, really.
I mean, it's like the only spiker that can spin him away.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Spin in this tier is super limited, which is, like, not too bad of a thing because of how limited spikes are as well. Like, aside from Pineco, the only real spinner we have is, like, Wartortle. Swallow being low here is also, like, pretty rough for Monai, if that's not, like, Wish Minun or something.
Oh, is this the game where Monai, like, reads... No, that was another game where, like, Monai had the read, but then his paralyzed Swalot got just owned. What are these nicknames? What the hell?
They're amazing.
Nelson
Lamar,
Mandela,
Honey,
Barack
Nelson
Obama?
Is this just famous black people?
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who Gabe is.
Who's Gabe?
Gabe is Gabe. I don't know Gabe.
Are you,
I know
are you
Gabe
talking
Ben,
about, like,
but
the,
not
like,
Gabe.
like the dog? Well, where does that
Apologies to the
factor
black
in
community.
with the rest of these names?
Us white folk and half Asian folk don't know who Gabe is. We're sorry. What else?
I didn't kill shit.
Lily is on the Whomst?
Pranksters.
Oh yeah, Praxis. Yeah, she's actually super strong as a player. Without even really, like, we know she doesn't really prep super hard for these. She just kind of loads and goes, but she wins.
Yeah. I think the rough thing here for Monai is that he doesn't really have any way to, like, stand up to the offensive pressure here, especially with the paralysis really limiting his options, and because of psychic and stuff like that, he can't afford to really pass the wish to Swalot either. So he doesn't just have, like, a solid answer to anything that Lily's throwing at him.
LeBron James, yeah, who would have thought?
This is a really interesting set. Focus Punch isn't something that you see all the time on Charmeleon.
I think it's mainly just there for Lickitung.
Yeah.
Damn, hidden power didn't kill.
I don't know if that was a roll. If it was, that was super unfortunate, because I think if Charmeleon managed to pick up the kill there, I think that could have won Monai the game.
Yeah.
A lot of this game really came down to percentage chances with the paras and the rolls. I think there was another 1% that was really
Sounds to me
unfortunate
like
for him.
we're removing ADV next year.
I'm down.
Oh.
Over my dead body. Yeah, after the Charmeleon died, that was pretty much over. But I agree with Danny that, like, it was just a lot of, like, was Monai going to win the dice rolls and get through the para, or get the rolls, or, like, just manage to hit damage benchmarks through spikes.
All right. With that recapped, I think we've done all the games, and we can just move on to the week 4.
Oh, bro, you missed my game.
Wait, what?
Oh yeah, your riveting series versus.
You missed my amazing series.
Against whom?
Against Dojo.
Oh yeah.
He's making a joke.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. Your amazing game against Doug's.
Yeah, Doug's more like Duck's because he keeps
we
ducking
were showing
games.
each other the teams after the whole thing happened, and he definitely would have beaten me. So, no,
I was just like, yeah, no, that was just as much a dodge on my end.
No, SV was pretty even.
It was more of,
and then Sun Moon was even as well.
Okay,
no,
I think
it was
we
also
can,
the fact of 4-6 is better than 3-7. Okay.
we can look here at Gulch's predictions, since he already did them, and we can criticize how
he's struggling 3-0 Mence.
Yeah, Mence has been struggling to get on his feet this tour, but we know that's because he lost to Drew, as we see here.
Exactly.
I'm still mad he actually put that screenshot in there. I'm still laughing my ass off.
that was fucking funny. I'm sorry.
I'm like, let me drive the point home.
Okay, Axertix Beraldo, I agree. I liked Axertix's teams way more.
Yeah, I don't know who's been cooking for Beraldo. I know he tends to cook for himself these tours, but, like, whoever's giving him the sauce is not, like, on top of it, I think.
I didn't like his... I'm not sure about his previous games. Actually, I remember I didn't like his games. He brought, like, a cheese week 1, and then he brought a pretty similar team to what he brought week 3 and week 2. It was, like, some Copper Raja with, like, fat stuff. And I didn't really like it much. So, Axertix, he brought that beautiful, beautiful, highly aesthetic Arcanine team. Something about its color scheme just makes me happy. So, I agree with this bold. Larry is cracked at the game. Very annoying to play. Agree with this bold too. I do agree this is a highlight game, Surface Strip.
Yeah, I think this is just like, we're going to see some really cool tech here, I think. I think this is both, like I said, people who really care about the meta, people who are going to cook. I do think, like, mostly, I'm just giving this. I know MZ did win the game with Suffus last week because of the choke. But generally, I think Drips had a consistently harder matchup spread and has been winning through it. And I am a little more impressed with his run, even if I really did not like his team week 1.
Also,
so
I do want to say, besides just liking Drips teams a lot, I think the Snatchers are way more motivated than the Stoners, who are kind of lost. I know Suffus didn't even want to play this week initially, so
yeah,
he kind of had to be talked
also
into
the
it, I think.
pranksters, right?
Yeah, pranksters want to win, I think, a lot more than the Stoners.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Stoners still have a playoff stretch in them, but
Everyone does, but
you can tell they're starting to run out of steam. You can tell, I feel like they have a lot of lineup changes going on because things aren't working out for them. Like, Tier went 0-3.
They do still have chances, but it's closing
on.
very fast.
Yeah. I think they have a better chance than the Lurks do. But I feel like they're going to have to figure out their lineup very quickly.
I don't like the Lurks.
It really sucks too. I have a lot of friends on this team. they just kind of suck, dude.
It's like the random. I don't know. I like LPZ. He's farming, so
yeah,
that makes sense.
Like Taka is my homie. I love that guy. Blood Ace is cool. Hera's cool.
Maybe Drew has the sauce. Maybe he sauced DS. Okay, yeah. So I'd say that's pretty much. Yeah, it's tough for both of these teams.
Yeah. I think this will be a very good game. Regardless.
Maki Gum is like better, and I'm not really sure who Maki is still.
Yeah,
Maki's the GOAT. Put some respect. I'm just playing. They're the GOAT, but
what do you mean just playing? They're the GOAT, but you're just playing?
No, they're the GOAT, but I understand the prediction.
Okay. PU Hacker.
I really, really did not like Hacker's game last week. That was... If I were Mence or Sasha, like if I were the manager there, I would not have been very happy about that game.
PU, the only game I remember
in that game
was when he defeats Hera when Hera still has like 6 mods or something because of the blade.
Yeah.
that was extremely funny.
Cooking. Like, I think the Stoners are just kind of struggling here because they're realizing they really didn't draft an SM slot.
Yeah, true. They kind of wanted the clickers, but the clickers all want to play SV.
Yeah.
Avarice, Keo. I think Keo has been doing fine.
Keo's been doing fine. Avarice has just been doing better.
Oh, 1-2. Maybe that's not fine. I mean, you can still bring it back easily.
I mean, it's better than Abe.
Avarice is 3-0, yeah. And he beat McMegan in World Cup, and that made me extremely sad because Europe was going to advance. Fuck.
I was gonna say, Avarice has just been doing very well in general lately. I don't think that he's going to slow down here.
Yeah. He plays a million tours, but he's been doing well on a million tours. So he's super dangerous right
exactly.
now. Faeniix
Especially
because
this is one of the tiers where you can cook. Okay.
This is reasonable.
I do think... Yeah. I think, like, Triple Axel could pull this. I don't think it's entirely one-sided, but I just generally think that, like, Faeniix has been playing this tier for so long and knows so much about this tier that the knowledge difference is just way too big.
Lily, this is like kind of a quote-unquote no-brainer.
Yeah.
And Danny versus Mance. Danny, you gotta win this shit.
Yeah, you gotta win. You have to win this shit. Please don't make me look like a jackass, man. Please.
I need all hands on deck.
I mean, okay, listen, even if I had looked at Mence's record on the sheet, it wouldn't have changed my bold. I just like, what do you want from me, man? Reading comprehension?
Nah, dude, that's
Mets been
unreasonable
looking
to
strong.
expect.
I actually thought their SV team was their SV team last week was also extremely aesthetic to me. I just really like these Rotom Bro Arcanine teams. They just look really pretty to me. And
Well, his SV was a copy of the Axortix team.
yeah, exactly.
Just a lot of neon.
And I said I
Oh,
really
okay.
love the Axortix team.
Yeah, that team was a cook.
One of my favorite teams I've seen this tour. What else? Actually, so he copied your guys' team. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, good luck, Danny. I
Thank
didn't
you.
really watch the
Please
other
don't
games,
make me
but
look like a jackass, dude.
yeah. Okay, so Bella bench, Taka Django. I feel like I don't really know much about Django, so I'm gonna go with Taka too.
Django has had 0 games so far, right? Or was it? No, wait. He played week 1. He played, who did he play? Shit, I don't even remember. I just know he didn't win, and the week was on the line.
He won in an UPL finals, though. And he's a boomer.
True.
Like, really old.
He lost in the semifinals. Wink, wink. Wink, wink.
He did.
Yeah. Okay, so he lost to Ballure week 1. That's not a super tough loss, I think, especially for like his probably first like tournament game in this tier.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty even. And then based on records, I would just probably pick Taka. I picked Django though because I like to be
think
different.
Taka has a little more like SV experience just overall.
Taka is cooking with Stellar Bruxish.
Yeah, I think he's finally like figuring out what does and doesn't work here too.
Asa is gonna win. I think she's really, really good.
Yeah, Seraph's is good, but like I feel like this is another kind of like no-brainer.
Seraph's is good, but I feel like his builds are a little
much.
I don't want to say much. I just think they're like, and I don't want to reveal too much either, but I just think he falls into like some building traps that I don't like.
What? Just like hits too many pitfalls at once?
Yeah, or just like I'm not really a fan of his structures. Meanwhile, Asa, she kind of uses everything. Ishtar Boof, I'd say this is really even too.
I picked Boof. I feel like Ishtar's not in their groove as much as they have been.
I think so. But I do think like the experience gap there is pretty notable, and I do feel like this is definitely really even.
I don't know. I think this is extremely even. I'd maybe even build Boof. I'm not really convinced by Ishtar's playing and teams yet. Like, she brought terrain against us, and then against Hoenn she brought like this spike stack team with no bulk. I don't know.
I was gonna say, what's your run been though? Like it's 1-1.
She didn't play with one because she was like
she was busy with something. Yeah.
So
I mean, to be fair, her run hasn't been easy.
I mean, yeah, decent win, good loss. Like,
yeah, like no shame on losing to the number 1 seed.
Yeah, but Boof is 2-1, and I do like his enthusiasm and like towards the tier. Although I'm gonna say these wins aren't like extremely impressive.
Yeah, I think like this is a very big thing of like watching the sheet. Generally speaking, like the tier knowledge gap is notable. And I think that's going to be the downfall.
Actually, yeah, I guess I agree with Ishtar Bold. Like, she has better supports, and
because like Drip knows more about the tier, but Boof wins in like just the clicking skill gap there.
He did lose to Q's though, and Q's is like, I don't know, when he locks in, he's really, really tough to beat, and he wins ladder tour. But when he isn't locked in, he's like super free.
Yeah, like when he brings 2 cannon.
Yeah, or just like whenever I play him on the ladder and it's like a free 30 elo. No shade. No shade.
He's gonna sad react your pose.
Hera, Meru. What is this bold, man? Can you explain yourself?
I'm stupid and I like to bold my friends.
Yeah, you're so dumb, man. Oh my god, you're so dumb.
But genuinely, I do think Hera has a really good shot here. I feel like Meru is probably going to be picking up in motivation after that win last week, especially like with the matchup and everything, and like Ob did kind of like play that really suboptimally, I think, in some points. But generally, I think Hera's got a good chance. I think Hera has a good shot at this, and I want to believe.
I don't know.
Plus,
I've really
also
not been
getting
impressed by
right
Hera.
back on the lineup to immediately lose again is super depressing, and I would not wish that on anyone.
I feel like SS is especially a tier where a clicker can beat a mainer, and I think Hera clicking skill is like mostly mainer. This is another crazy bold. Like, isn't Theory way more accomplished here?
Yeah, but also has a penchant for being very inconsistent and has some really shitty records, like especially recently too.
Yeah, like last year, 7-1 on the max.
Yeah, like that's the thing, 7-1 and then like immediate turnaround into an 0-4. Like, I feel
you
like that's
some,
a very hard thing. That's a very hard thing for me to confidently like put my trust in and say is going to win.
And what makes Estarossa confident?
I've really actually I've been very pleasantly surprised by his teams. I think he's like, aside from some of the sets he brought last week, like Subtox Crab was a bit weird. But like generally speaking, I think he's been really like proving that he's built for this slot and he's doing well. He's had a decent run too. Like he beat Rob. He beat Manny. Yeah, like I mean, and a loss to Sugar Ovens, who's like, you know, SM Supermainer, is not the biggest deal in the world. I think he has a very good shot at both this game and honestly the rest of the pool. I would not be super shocked to see an X1 this season.
You know, I'll actually throw my hat in here too because I do have some like thoughts on this. I thought last week too, Estarossa's game specifically versus Sugar Ovens, there was like I definitely would have favored Sugar Ovens, right? Because Esta loaded into like hard stall, but he had like he brought some anti-stall techs. He had the opportunities to kind of win that game, and he was like kind of playing to the outs. Whereas Ziri has been good, but Estarossa I think has looked better to me. Has been a little more consistent, and has those 2 wins, week 1 and week 2, which do matter. Momentum is a big thing in these types of tournaments, and I think his momentum is definitely, I think, a little higher than Ziggy's.
Yeah.
Crying Aberforth. Aberforth is 0-2? What?
Yeah. No, Abe is 0-3.
Oh, he's 0-3. What the hell?
Yeah, Abe's not been doing great this year.
Damn. I saw him play an Uber's game. It was like the most beautiful gameplay I've ever seen.
I don't know if it's like ORAS PU specifically, or if he's just having a bad time, or what. But like,
so you bold crying. Damn.
I mean, yeah, I believe in Abe. I know he's like, he knows this tier and like he's good at the game. I just cannot in good conscience bold 0-3.
Okay, so crying doesn't dodge the blizzards this time, and Aberforth wins, and that's my prediction.
I mean, shit, it's possible. Like, I genuinely do think Abe has every chance to win this game. It's just, and the thing too is, like, from what I've seen of his previous games this year, he's been making some really questionable plays. I think, like, losing to Stall with Specs camera up is just really tough. I forget what exactly went down in his week 2 game. I think he just got some really tough rolls with the para, like on the Clefairy. And he just ended up not getting that extra turn or 2 we needed to bring the tempo back. And then versus Alice, he sacks his Pelipper, which kind of just lets Floatzel do whatever the fuck it wants. And it's there are these critical moments, I think, that he's just letting the game go.
Might be like a how much I care about this tour issue.
That too. Maybe he just doesn't give a shit. I don't know.
Okay, frankjosh Jabba, I agree with you. Jabba wins because the public scheduling, I'm not even sure, maybe it was trolling. Jabba was destroying this man.
Yeah.
And the public scheduling.
We prepped for him last week, and I was like, "Oh, I know what this guy does. He loves lead Machoke." And I told Sawa, "Prep for lead Machoke, dude. You got this." And he brings fucking lead Armaldo into our Zatu, and we get punked on matchup immediately.
Shit.
Yeah. So I think he knows when to flip it.
I always agree more with weekend scheduling than only weekday scheduling. So. Go Jabba.
Man, you must hate Ace Up.
I hate Ace Up so much that I retained him for 18k in CUPL.
Yeah.
I'm learning from Dougza how to grind the activity win, you know?
Yeah.
It's because the first step is Ace Up is only available for this time range. Then Ace Up says, I'll give you some wiggle room. And by saying that, you expect the opponent to also have like wiggle room. So then you schedule for a very vague range, and it's like you make scheduling really toxic, but you get away with it because like I'm the one giving you I'm the one that's taking time out of my schedule to give you wiggle room. So whatever you say, like
you're
being an asshole
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roth beating Plague Doc again feels pretty cut and dry. Plague's 0-3 right now and just is not having a great tour.
This is like a Brazil moment, right? Because like this is the Brazilian managers drafting Brazilian players. There's Saki
this
here,
is Team Brazil.
I think
I will give him credit. I will give him credit. His draw for the first couple weeks has been kind of rough. Lily first week is the hardest it gets.
But Gold Mason
Gold Mason's not pushed over. Yeah, Parker's actually been doing surprisingly well for himself in this tour, I think.
But it's not Monai Slowbroth.
It's not, but I do think like that Lily game week 1 is a really tough like crash course into the tier.
Yeah, agree. Okay, Drew Noons. I got Drew here. Sorry.
I mean, I have to bold against Drew at this point because it's for the bit, but also I do genuinely think he has a good shot. I was very impressed by his win against ZS. He did take a game off of Ments. Like he's been consistently getting these to 3, and that is on its own actually pretty impressive for this pool.
Drew is the GOAT,
and
man.
I do think that
he's gonna 5-0,
especially
after
considering the fact that he managed to keep Nunes from scheduling on Tuesday. He's going to be able to win just because he johned, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know. I believe in Drew. Maybe it's plot armor. Okay, Lax Floss. This is kind of fire.
I think this is a good matchup, but I'm not super convinced in Lax SV after what I saw.
Floss has had
Taka.
he beat me, although I definitely had more play in that game. I was just like super greeting. But he beat me. But then he's been having kind of like flop games. Like, I don't like it when that happens.
He beat you,
if you're supposed to beat me, you're supposed to be the GOAT.
Lost to Mike. It's not been a good season for him.
Lax, he got gooed by Taka though, so that's tough.
Yeah. I think it was like a situation of I just didn't like his team, you know?
Q's MZ is so cool.
Yeah, this is going to be, again, big highlight game.
But I give it to MZ. I think Q's is just too volatile. Like, sometimes he really plays like a scrub.
Yeah.
But sometimes, I don't know. He's an interesting player because sometimes he really turns up and sometimes he's just... Balur, go Balur. Yeah,
Lure's been like putting a lot into prep, I believe.
Yeah, he's LARPing like crazy. If you're LARPing that hard, there has to be something behind it. Mata Tenebri. I'm gonna build Mata because I don't know. Mata is the boss. I still haven't really been paying attention to Tenebri, partially because I don't watch SS.
I mean, I think Mata, like, again, this is another one where I'm like biased and bolding people I like. But I do genuinely think that like Mata is a better clicker, but Tenebrite has been showing that he's very comfortable in this tier without knowing too much about it.
Mhm.
And I do think that's a really good like way to debut in this kind of thing.
I'm surprised they bolded. They just sent in Tenebrite after MJ lost to Gum.
Yeah, that's a thing too. I don't know, like
That was quick.
it could have been just like actual real life concerns.
Yeah, that too. Rob Jr. PTF. I don't know, man.
Yeah, this is,
PTF has been delivering beatdowns.
Again, this is just me kind of glazing.
Rob
Generally,
Jr.
I
is
do
crazy,
think PTF
but
win.
I think PTF has displayed like another level of enjoying SM. And I think they would be like the first player to go 4-0, to be honest. Teddy TKO.
I mean, this one's kind of just anybody's game.
Actually, I like TKO's support here. He probably likes playing with these managers.
I was gonna say, also he has MZ support, so like,
yeah. Oh, MZ's gonna know Teddy stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Teddy has to make something different here, or he's gonna lose.
MZ's gonna send TKO a whole sheet of stuff like, this is this Teddy team, this is this Teddy team.
I mean, he is the data guy.
Sergio Rules, Gilla. I heard Sergio Rules isn't really a clicker, so.
He's not, but he does have a lot of knowledge about this tier, which is very notable.
Well, when the game loads, like 90% of it is out the window because there's only 6 mons in front of you, and that's when clicking becomes important.
I mean, my other worry is that, like, we've seen a good couple times that his building style ends up being very predictable.
Oh, Gilly? Yeah, because he, like, loves stall.
No, Sergio.
Oh, Sergio? I wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
Well, just from, like from what I hear of the player profiles, but I haven't seen him play, really. Who is the Screen Queen Lures Black-White earlier? It was
Lax. Yeah, he started there.
I don't like this. I mean, I like Lax as a player. I think he's broken. And
there's not a single player on this sheet with 3 wins.
CS was close, but
he was close, and then he got punked by Drew. That has to feel so bad.
Honestly, this. Do I want to say it? This best of 3 pool.
What?
I'm not saying I'd do well here. I just don't think I'd go winless.
I mean, you would do kind of poorly because you'd have to play SS.
I'd have to play SS and SM, yeah. But I don't know.
That is.
I think this is like a dual pool.
Shame.
Then I play Danny and I'd lose to Danny. Is that it? Okay, no. Leni haste up. Oh my god, these guys are both like annoying to schedule with.
Yeah, this game's not happening.
This game is not happening. True.
We're not seeing this game.
This is a double sub if I've ever seen one.
I was say easiest double sub in the world.
Okay, now who are the subs? Because Haysub is going for Scrimps. Who's subbing in for Leni? Oh, Alice.
I mean,
Okay, Alice versus Scrimps. Who do you got?
Scrimps.
I think I also have
And it's
Scrimps.
not really close either.
Yeah, Scrimps is great. So glad we got Alice versus Scrimps here, despite what the prediction says. Parpar Ty Carter clutched it for him for the Hunters last week, so that's big ups. I think I'll still build Parpar though. I don't know why, but just something tells me.
Bias, possibly.
What kind of bias? I don't know this guy.
Good question.
Yeah, but I don't know. He seems to be doing fine here. Yeah, 2-1.
Yeah, I think he's coming to grips with the tier.
Actually, I don't know. He lost to Slow Broth, which is expected, and then he beat 2 players who are like a little question marky. Okay, maybe Ty Carter takes it. True. ZS Dugza. Yeah. This is hard.
Does this game happen?
It happens, yeah. Dugza's extremely good, man. He is extremely
good. I haven't seen him play the fucking game.
Yeah, but when you see him play the game, he's winning shit.
No, he's not. Not this tour.
Oh, did he play?
He played Mens and he lost.
But Mens is like right Mens is like a humongous tournament player.
I mean, notably struggling this tour.
Yeah, notably struggling. But I don't know. Dugza, he won seasonal over me. He got like top 4 in OST. He farms like, I don't know. I just always see him farming. He went 4-0 in World Cup pools, and the games were not close.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I need more data to confidently say Doug is going to win. And also, again,
this guy is crazy good.
No, I mean, I agree with you here. Again, these tournaments are a lot about like kind of mental and just momentum, and Doug's really just hasn't been there. There's been a little bit too much maybe drama that he's let dictate how he's performed, and that's not even just for him himself. That's for his team.
I feel like that's
all
totally
that
unfair to say.
From last week,
he's only played 1 game.
Also, yeah,
and it was against
he also dodged last week when it was a dead game. It didn't matter, but he dodged it, and that's like, that it matters in principle. So in terms of just like momentum,
it says much about like raw clicking skill, and I think Doug's like clicking skill is actually this year. It really seems like it's his year.
What, year of Doug?
Yeah.
Or is that what we're picking here? Year of Doug?
Yeah, I mean, like, he's, at least in the OU stuff, he's destroying everyone. He almost won NUPL. I mean, he's always there. Actually, ZS is about to have a blue trophy because Italy's in finals, and he's been doing well. But Doug's pools games in World Cup were actual beatdowns. Very, very impressive. Which leaves one more team, which is us, Gulch. Me and Sino. That's going to be fun. We've played so many times. On ladder, though. I don't know if you have anything to say.
I mean, not really. I mean, we don't have any Snatchers predictions online, so we could get some from other sources.
Yeah, go Snatcher 6-0. There is literally only one unbiased party in this call right now. So this would literally just be Tone talking about who he thinks is vibing.
Well, Tone doesn't really know SVA, I think, right?
It doesn't matter if he knows. It matters about being an unbiased party. Because I'm saying the Liquid Chain Snatchers.
Okay, me versus Hoenn. Obviously, it's Hoenn favorite because Hoenn is the GOAT, but I think I'm one of the players with a better shot at taking his head. Also, I play him like
If
a
you guys
lot.
can do it, then maybe you can.
I do play Hoenn a lot, like on ladder and stuff.
I was saying, isn't this the guy who taught you like everything you know?
Not everything, but he was the one that sent me on the mission to win circuit. He was like, Fish, you're about to win seasonal, but like that shit doesn't matter. You got to win circuit, and when you win circuit, they'll draft you for SCL. And I was like, you know what? Bet.
And then
I won circuit. But I
And then
did
you won
actually, I did actually benefit a ton from like test gaming with him, because when Hoenn's serious in the team tours, he gets like 1 billion test games, and just getting that practice in was what helped me a lot, I'd say. Stories versus Ampha, you have no data on Stories, so take that. Except for that she's like 03 or something, or 02 in Black White.
And you know what Ampha is? 3-0.
Ampha, I'm gonna get some sauce for Ampha. I'm like 1 million to 1 on Ampha in tests.
Sauce for me.
But that was
This third SV slot is for me one of the big questions of this week, Drud versus Fiend, because both of these guys have kind of had a rough run of it thus far. Especially Fiend coming off a heartbreaker last week. I think Drud, did he win his game last week? I do not remember.
No, he did not. It was a big upset.
Okay.
I'm actually not going to talk about this game because Droda's going through some stuff right now, so I'm going to leave it at that. DJ Oran is actually really fun. They're like the two big money SS
There's going to be
players.
some heat in this game for sure.
And I'm not going to watch it because it's SS. Next.
Oh my god. That's your player.
Man of many sugar ovens. This is kind of gonna be uphill, but man of many, he's been practicing the uphills, you know.
Meanwhile, Sugar Ovens, our other 3-0 player. So, go Sugar Ovens.
Yeah.
Woo!
Carp versus Kazumi. So this guy has carp in his name, so it's like a fish. So I think he's gonna win here. Dawn to the Dust tack is a little rough for us because our black-white spot has been shaky.
Yeah.
Shaky's a word.
Yeah, it's shaky, but Dawn to the Dusk, he's not to be underestimated. He got Reuniclus Rex in like 5 minutes. Who else did that?
Damn.
Tell me.
Yeah.
Well, the answer
I
is
think
Monai.
you have like a new type of person in like the slot Dawn to Dusk. I don't know what their familiarity is with Black White PU specifically, but I think having new blood versus like an established name versus 10 is actually like kind of a decent decision. It leaves you less things in the scout to worry about, and kind of just leaves it down to clicking. So
Dawn is definitely.
I think this will be it.
Dawn was like a black white OU main or like a black white in general, and I do think this is their first stint in PU. But I think like last week there were some mistakes made, but they were also on a trip last week, so the prep came in very late.
Yeah, I mean, there's
think this
definitely
week we
a
can do
learning
more.
curve to this. Yeah, the prep is definitely a big thing. There's definitely a learning curve. And Taka is one of the more established names in this pool, so it's definitely kind of a tough task. But I'm interested to see if Dawn to Dusk is ready to go up to bat. It'll be a fun game for sure.
Next is Beats Black H Sawa. I don't really have much opinion on DPP. There's no team preview. Monai, please no step should be Monai favored. And PDT Suzuya should also be PDT favored.
I mean, both of these players don't have like. Okay, PDT has a win, but it's a Mickey win.
Shut up. It's true, but he's gonna lock in.
He has one win and it's a Mickey. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I think this is like the SV1 is a toss-up. Actually, I'd say all the SV slots are a toss-up. Although I don't know. I think really I'm like Sinnoh's biggest glazer. I think he
This series is genuinely like anyone's game, I think.
Yeah, like the first 4 slots have toss-ups, and then Sugar Ovens is favored, Tak is favored, and I'd say H-Sawa kind of favored, and then Monai PDT are kind of favored. And then like King Carp, DJ, and then the SV games are like extremely volatile. That would be like my spectator perspective, and I am basically a spectator because I don't help with old gen slots. If you have any other thoughts, let me know, because I think that's all. We gotta leave before MZ joins us. That'll be humiliating if he joins us.
Okay, so leaving out the Chain Snatchers, Mags, who do you think would win for each of these other 3 sets? Like just the team. So Pokestars over Stoners. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Pranksters, Gudras, and then Haunters.
I think Gudras tie
again.
I
think this is the week Gudras... Yeah, I was going to say, you think this is the week Gudras break the curse? Whether it's a win or a loss, just anything besides a tie.
I was going to say, anything that's not a tie here would be very nice for them. I doubt they lose to the Lurks, though.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think they lose to the Lurks, but... Actually, LPZ Evigaro might be the highest playing skill black-white game.
Surprising highlight, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be there for this game. Hopefully it's not 80.
I predict a tie. I think Olurks and Gudras are tying again. Yeah, I think it's 5-5. And this is the easiest 5-5 I've seen this week.
Lures, Haunters... I actually do like the Lures and SV.
I'm still putting it on Haunters. Like, personally, when I look at these names themselves, if you told me to pick 6 of these that I'd be like kind of confident in winning, I don't think I could do that for the Haunters. But I mean, they've just been so dominant so far. They really have just stomped out the teams that they've played. Meanwhile, the Lures have been, kind of struggling to find their footing. Got their first win last week though, which is definitely big. See if they can keep up that momentum versus the number 1 seed, like far and away. But yeah, I'll go with Haunters.
All right, that seems pretty established then. And I think we can wrap it up with that. So, thank you for yapping. My voice is definitely shot.
Yeah, me too.
All right.
Shout out to all the viewers too, who have.
Shout out to all the viewers who are probably watching on 2 times speed while doing the dishes. That's probably the ideal time to be listening to these.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Also, listen to this while you're doing your Rex run, and no bias, but vote Ben on Inteleon.
True.
Yeah, and with that, I think we have our nice week 3 wrap up. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah.